Good afternoon, everybody. Excuse the way I look. I've been like really sick this week, but I don't have COVID. I'm not contagious, at least not, through YouTube. So I said last week or the other day, I forget, I've lost track of time, um, that we were going to talk about making mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, and I'm certainly the queen of mistakes. Um, when you make a mistake, you can rectify it. You can make it better. You can apologize. You can redo. You can do, something toward correcting the mistake. I, however, do not have that much patience for that. Like when I was little, I took piano lessons, and when I was practicing piano and there was a note I didn't know, instead of counting up A, B, C, I would hit the same note over and over, expecting, I guess, a different result. They say that's a sign of insanity. I'm not sure about that. And then later, typing back in the old days and type on a typewriter, um, if I messed up on a key, instead of erasing it with an eraser or, putting white out on it, I would hit the key over and over and over of the right one and try to go over the wrong one. Well, that's kind of where we're going to take up today. Remember the green dress? Who could forget the green dress? For those of you who may just be tuning in and haven't watched the two previous videos, I made a green dress, and all in all, I goofed it up, and it was really, really too small. So I said, to heck with it, put it in the closet. And then I got to thinking, I really spent a lot of money on that fabric. That was like the good fabric. So I was going to see if I could figure out exactly why it was so small. So let's just take a look at that, okay? All right, this is the back. This is the invisible zipper that's not invisible. And as you can tell, it gets a little worse as it goes down. But let's just zoom in on this right here. Let's just zoom. Remember we were talking about that back vent? Well, apparently this is the back vent. It's like this little slit in the back. So I couldn't figure out how to go from the back vent up to the invisible zipper that wasn't invisible. So I just took half of this fabric and half of this fabric and just sewed it right on the middle, thinking, oh, that'll make it better. No, it didn't make it better. It looks terrible, and it made it not fit because it drew, a good 4 inches into the middle. So I feel kind of better about that, but I really think I'm going to take it apart and try to remake it. Maybe. Not sure about that yet, but that's my goal. Let me introduce you to my little friend. This is a seam ripper. If you make a mistake, you can slide this little pointy thing under a stitch and then pull it and it'll pop the stitch. And you can do that over, however long you need to do it. But there's a right way and a wrong way. Okay, so I had my seam ripper and I had made a mistake on a blouse. The blouse was made out of a material called muslin. Now, bless this lady's heart at Joann's. She said, if it's the first time you've ever sewn anything like this, don't get expensive fabric. Get muslin because it's inexpensive, and if you mess up, it's no big deal. So I got muslin. So, this is the lovely blouse that I made, and it actually turned out okay. But there's a few things that you might need to know about this. This heart and this heart were not on the pattern and were not supposed to be there. The reason that they're there is because this sleeve, and I don't know what my deal is with sleeves, but the sleeve was over in the wrong place. So I try to use the seam ripper to take the sleeve off. And let me get over here to show you what's underneath. Where that heart is exactly. I can't find. Maybe there. Anyway, when I tried to use the seam ripper, I tried to aggressively and it went all the way through the fabric and made a hole. So here I was with a hole right in the front of my blouse. So instead, I mean, I had no choice. I didn't know what else to do other than take the entire blouse apart and re-sew it, which at that point I did not want to do, or cover it up. So I chose to cover it up. So I cut out a heart and stuck the heart over there. It works, but that was not the right thing to do. I've learned with your seam ripper, you have to be patient. You have to know what kind of fabric you're working with. But it's not even about the fabric, it's about thread. You're not sawing into the fabric. You're just popping the thread. I learned that the hard way with this blouse. So hopefully when I go back to the green dress, not on camera, I'll be able to rip the thread, not fabric. So I made this little thing somewhere. All right, I'm going to turn the camera a different way, or proppy way or something. Yeah, proppy way. Okay. Whoops. Oh, we're sliding. Are you good? Okay, we're good. So I took a piece of... That didn't go so good, did it? See, that's what I'm talking about, making mistakes. Okay, now you're propped up again. I took a piece of muslin. This is the same kind of muslin that I made the blouse with. And I have a row of stitching here and a row of stitching here. Now, what I did with the blouse was I tried to go down in there and pull up the stitching, and see, that's what happens. It rips. What I should have done was go in there and get the thread. Nice and easy. You can even open your seam up like this, and you can see the little dots where the thread is. Just go and pop the little thread, which of course isn't working right now. Oh, there we go. And then you can pull it a little bit more and pop a little bit more, and so forth. And that way, that doesn't happen. What I'm saying, I guess, is the lesson I've learned from all these mistakes that I've made, you can't just pull fabric together to cover up a mistake. You can't just add a heart to cover up a mistake. You can't hit that typewriter key thinking that O is going to turn into an S. It's not going to happen. You can't hit that same note on the piano and magically make it sound differently and be the right key. You can't do that. And these are hard lessons to learn, but they're lessons you have to learn. When I was trying to teach my little boy how to ride a bike, I said, the first thing we're going to learn is how to fall. We're going to learn how to fall the right way. Once you learn that you can fall and catch yourself and not get hurt, you won't be as scared. Which is kind of like, you know, the lady that sold me the muslin. She's like, you can do this. You can sew it, and if you mess up, it's okay. You can fix it. You cannot be scared to mess this up. So, yeah, so I guess our lesson here, if it has to be a sewing lesson, is start small. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't try to rush. Don't get frustrated. If you get frustrated, lay it down. Come back to it later. I need to tell myself that too. And if you've made a mistake with anything, it can be fixed. Don't cover it up. Just do your best to fix it. See you in a few days.